President Trump has exhibited a leadership, an empathy, a sympathy, a connection to voters, to suffering, to people who have been, for no particular reason, forced to suffer some of the most inconceivably horrible natural disasters where they have been ignored, just ignored by everyone, by Biden. Pete Booty Giggity Giggity. Remember this twit, the Alfred E. Newman, this who was gay. He was a Department of Transportation because he was gay. That's it. Gay. DEI. Gay. He was gay. Corinne Jean-Pierre, gay. She's the first gay. The LAFD lesbian squad, gay. That's it. This is where we've been. Okay? And there's nothing wrong with that. Gay is nothing wrong with that, provided you're able to have a justification for your talent other than your particular sexual preference. We know this. This is axiomatic, dear friends. The president yesterday and last night in North Carolina and California in particular was absolutely incredible. The First Lady, Melania Trump, was exquisite. And already members of the Democrats or the woke left are suggesting that she wasn't really there, that it was somebody else. It was a stand-in or a phony, a fake Melania. This is, and we're supposed to be the conspiracy theorists. This is what they said. Did you see her with Bass? Oh my God, Karen Bass? He was phenomenal. This president has brought us to a new appreciation, a new understanding, a new kind of a reminder of what the leader of the free world does. So we're going to be talking about that, my friends. We're going to be talking about so many incredibly critical and important things. So many aspects of what's going on right now. But last night we were in awe of the president. And I was showing you one of the things which is the most important. I was showing you long clips, and we spent some long clips. And many of you said, I didn't know this. I had no idea. Why didn't they show me this? And the reason why, believe it or not, is number one, we understand why the radical left doesn't want you to see that. That makes sense. But there are places like Newsmax and Fox. They are still structured in the vestiges, the confinements of TV. This morning, we're zipping through, and I wanted to see what some coverage was. And on Fox Weekend, they had a cooking segment on slow cooking. What is this, Betty Furness? This screams old-fashioned, antediluvian, anachronistic television. When I saw this, I'm thinking, these people don't get it. They don't get it. What are you doing? What are you doing? So before we waste our time anymore talking about this, let me explain to you, my friends, before we start, that there is something which is very, very critical, and people have been asking me about this, and I want you to understand. I want you to listen very carefully and focus, dear friends, on the following. Right now, as the president has made us very aware of what happens, you are going to have to be in charge of your own emergency food, water, generators, in case something goes wrong. It is not a massive investment. It is one of the easiest things you can do. And the first thing you have to do is you cannot believe how much food you can store for 30 days. 30 days. 30 days. Right now, there's a special 4-week emergency food supply, $50 off at preparewithlionel.com. You won't believe how easy this is. you're going to have to think about you and your family and your own safety and your own preparedness, because the president and the government, as well intended as they are not going to be able to help you. They're not. So, ladies and gentlemen, right now, preparewithlionel.com. Do not let this moment go by. A 4-week emergency food supply for $50 plus 6 free bonuses when you order today. Act now. Do this now before it's too late. I'm sorry, but that's the absolute truth. Now let's go through a couple of things. Let's remind you of what this president is about. We saw the president speak yesterday, and we saw him speak this one. I'm not going to do the whole thing again, but I was so moved by this. This was a pastor, and here was this billionaire and his wife. Sounds like the Gilligan's Island theme. And he's standing in front of these people who've lost everything. And they showed a spirit and a courage, and he showed them this respect. He spoke with them and to them. It's the new Trump. Trump is humbled, focused, calm, determined, more paternal, more focused, more empathic, like we've ever seen. Melania, the first lady, is also showing a desire to be more and more involved. This is a new, he's learned so much. This is not Trump 2016. This is Trump 2025. Watch this.
I'm a pastor Nick's, our church right down the road. We had only purchased in May, and it's a big church. We're a small congregation, and I had people say, "What are you going to do with this big building?" And I said, "Only God knows." And we had our dedication, and the storm came the next week, and the outpouring of people. My son brought the first load of supplies, and from there, I stayed there for about 3 months. I slept on the floor for about 3 weeks because the need was so great. The people were so devastated, and I said, I want to be here for them. And they were coming in just day and night, so there's really no need for me to go home. But we had people from Kentucky, Tennessee, Texas, Indiana, Oklahoma, people from all over. We have not received any help like from the government or anything. But I said, Lord, if you want us to do that, people.
So they came from
all over the states.
But FEMA did nothing.
FEMA did nothing.
Wasted time and money.
The locals and the people that knew us. And
see, this infuriates Trump. This absolutely infuriates Trump. This is his theme. FEMA is in the bullseye, my friend.
Before the week was over, our church was so packed with supplies we couldn't even walk. Even in our sanctuary, it was up to the platform of things, and in our halls and in our rooms, and we're just now beginning to get a little straightened out. But somebody said, how long are you going to be here? I said, I'm going to be here through the winter and even on, if possible, because when you meet people that's been through the struggle. I had a little lady come up, and I said, can we do anything special for you? And she said, I don't want to be selfish, but said, could I have a cup of coffee?
Oh.
And I handed her that coffee, and she stood there, and tears just poured. She said, you don't realize how important the little things. It's not the big things in life that we have, but it's the little things, and knowing that God is our source. I don't look to man. I don't have to have a lot of things. I had trees, about 20 trees down in my yard, but that didn't really matter. Doesn't matter, because the needs of the people is what I want to be there for. God is good. He's very good. And my daughter now, her house is really in bad shape.
Now I gotta tell you something. I can't. From a political point of view, from an image point of view, from from just an observational point of view, not always putting things into politics and not always being that craven. But this is a Trump that has been chomping at the bit, actually champing at the bit, who for 4 years sat out. And every time he sat in a courtroom, every time somebody was subpoenaed, every time he had to act, he was just waiting to unleash, to uncoil. This is a different Donald Trump, measured, not as, dare I say, snotty, not as combative, not as, he's just, last night when Pete Hegseth was finally confirmed, he said, good. That was it. Nothing. Good. Moving on. It's like a bulldozer. It's one of the most incredible things. And he's one of us. Let me tell you, just this as an aside, I got a lot of thoughts and ideas. I'm sorry. Forgive me if they are scattered, desultory, completely elliptical, all over the place. My mind is on fire every time just before I speak with you, because I want to make sure I get everything out. Everything has changed drastically. Not only is Trump, have you noticed how great Alex Jones has been? Have you noticed how there is this element, this new group of folks who are the new tier, the new vanguard of informational platforms? I don't want to be snide, but I guess I will. There's this group of people, the Charlie Kirks, the Glenn Becks, and whatever, who are the ones who have lost whatever their initial sincerity was, and have been overcome and almost affected by their grandeur. Turning point. The great Charlie Kirk. You lose yourself in it. It's happened to Sean Hannity. You know this. When you become bigger and bigger and bigger, and you kind of remember, you say to yourself, I'm the star here. No, it's the information that's the star. It's the truth that's the star. It's the data. Are the data. Alex Jones is going through a return to humility. I think he's much better. I think he's not drinking. I think his health, he's calmer. He's focused. The focused on what, if you really want to be good now in this phase 2 of this information platform, give people what they want, talk to them, leave yourself out of it, get out of the way. And remember what this says, the rules have changed. It's a different everything, a different Trump, a different world. The platforms are changing. We're seeing it with Elon. We're seeing it with what's happening with him. It's so interesting. So focus on this. Here is the president alluding to either, this is in LA, to either some directed energy weapon system or something in those. By the way, do you believe anybody on conventional cable news would talk about DEWs or would talk about globalist, Rothschild, Illuminati-esque, whatever you want to call it? Never. They talked about Davos the other day. They never once mentioned who these people were because they're still part of this. And this, remember, the best way for you to kill some truth is to sponsor it. One of the reasons, I'm saying it again, that Alex has gone back so much into this raw truth is because he had to claw back. He was so big and so great and so grand and kind of losing, shooting guns and everything. I think something happened. It's not a humbling, but it's a reversion. Anyway, listen to the president. What do you think he is alluding to when he's talking about the energy systems that seem to have been unleashed on California?
Because in
the history of California, I think,
Listen.
has anything bigger than that happened in the whole country ever? It looks like, I don't want to say what it looks like.
I don't want to say what it looks like.
But you know what I'm going to say. It looks like something hit it.
Mm-hmm.
And we won't talk about what hit it, but it is a bad, bad situation.
What do you think that is? By the way, look at this. The online Dems are saying this isn't Melania. This is somebody else. Look what he's saying. Look what he's saying.
In the history of California, I think, has anything bigger than that happened in the whole country ever? It looks like, I don't want to say what it looks like, but you know what I'm going to say. It looks like something hit it.
Something hit it.
And we won't talk about what hit it, but.
And we won't talk about what hit it. You know what he's saying. You know what he's saying. You know what he's saying. You've been saying this. I go to you. What are you saying? What do you think? See, nobody, most of these people live in their world. That's what happened to CNN and these others. They forgot kind of what they were doing. They're not giving you the truth. I want to give you, just before I forget, I have to tell you this. You know the expression, be careful what you ask for? You know that expression? Okay. Martin Luther King, I believe, is an American hero, but a very, very flawed person. Very flawed. Very. It's very complicated. He was the target of Bobby Kennedy, and Bobby Kennedy, as you know, was the reason why he was the main focus of why John Kennedy was because of Bobby Kennedy. We've been through this. I was on the Sean Atwood show yesterday for 2 hours, and it was wonderful. The people, his audience primarily, I think, is the UK. They love JFK stuff, and I gave them a top to bottom JFK take that they had never thought of before, and nobody ever talks about it this way. But I'm getting to my point. You want the Martin Luther King files released, right? Yeah. There are people who are going to cringe. He was a rake, a roue. He was alleged to have been involved in debauched incidents and not Diddy-esque, but you can read. You're going to be reading stuff. You're going to be reading the FBI files. I don't want to go into too much detail, but you're going to find out about his allegations regarding his communist connections, Communist Party connections, his own sexual predilections that might surprise you. Remember, you wanted this. Hate to go Jack Reacher on you. I'm just saying, remember. And whether it's honeypots, as Steve says, whether it's other folks, it's a very complicated piece. Remember J. Edgar Hoover. J. Edgar Hoover hated him. Bobby Kennedy hated him. So let me just tell you this. Whether it's RFK, JFK, MLK, and the same thing with Mr. Epstein's travel records, are you sure you want them released? Are you sure? Because what happens is, if you have an agency like the FBI keeping track of all the terrible things, and not only that, if you have all of the terrible things regarding individuals, you're going to release that? Let me give you an example of something. What if during the course when Bill Gates met with President Trump, what if, I'm not saying this happened, but what if, and is this beyond the purview of possibility? What if President Trump said, before we begin, Bill, I want to show you something, and I want you to understand something. You probably have heard a lot about these files. And I want you to take a look at this, see if you recognize anybody. Yep. That's you. Now, just saying, I'm not saying this. I'm not saying this. I'm giving you a possibility. And we're going to make sure, Bill, everything is done to make sure this doesn't get out, okay? Okay. Because everybody wants these files released. Okay. Here we go. Now, what do you want to talk to me about? You don't think that's it? Those files, Epstein files, are blackmail and extortion. They represent a trove. The president does not want them released if he has the biggest names available who can be leveraged if he has this information. Because remember, where are those tapes, those recordings? Where are they? President doesn't want to let that out because he can't leverage somebody. So when he's dealing with all these folks from all over the world and people that you've never thought about, and by the way, people who could give up other folks, because you don't know, this is years and years and years and decades of this stuff. Do you really want this released? No. Not unless we benefit from whatever it is, because this is all about blackmail. That's all it was. He was set up from the beginning. It's not honeypot. It's blackmail and extortion. That's all. That's all. And as we have to ask ourselves, you had Ehud Barak, Les Wexner, Epstein, our good friend Alan Dershowitz, some of the brightest and most powerful voices in the American Jewish, but also the Israeli lobby, and not lobby, but caucus. Do you think maybe they would know where these tapes and recordings were? I just want you to think about this. I just want you to sit back, because everybody online is saying, release the files. There's nothing in the file. What file are you talking about? And when it comes to MLK, get ready for that one. You sure you want this? You sure you want this? There's going to be a lot of black folks. Martin Luther King, this is their Pope, their St. Paul, their Gandhi, their everything. Do you understand what's happening? Remember this. That's all. A lot to think about. And nobody spends any time with this. They just say this, release the files, release it. Like, no, wait, back up. All right. Moving on down the line. Another word about how great FLOTUS, the First Lady of the United States, was.
Lady, we'll start with our First Lady. She wanted to be here because of North Carolina, and then
It doesn't sound like, what is she, from North Carolina? She makes it sound like I want to be here because of North Carolina. Okay.
Lady, we'll start with our First Lady. She wanted to be here because of North Carolina, and then I said, well, you can do that, but you're going to have to come to California, too. And she said, that's okay.
They don't think that's her. They don't think that's her. Mrs. L has reviewed this. He says, that's Melania. And you wouldn't believe everything from manicure to jewelry to by the way, you see this right
fix
there?
that one up, too.
Is this a cleft chin she has there? That's autosomal. Somebody, either her mother or her father, has that.
You ever see anything like that one? It's who would have thought that could have happened?
Now let's move on down the line. Let's move on and let's look at some of these. This is something I'm going to show you right off the bat. I'm going to show you this. This is the president and the first lady saying hello and introducing themselves and thanking LA Fire. Okay? You understand this? Watch this. Look at this. This is one of the, I got to point this out. Weird. Hang on a minute. Let me see this. Just a minute here. Weird Lionel's reluctance on this stuff. Like we don't have a right to these things. Baby Gerald didn't get a word I said. Didn't understand a word I reluctant. We have a right to these things. Baby, if you lose the ability to leverage it, it's not important anymore. You understand that, baby? if we don't, if we release this, whatever this is, and if you're probably, I don't want to say you're gullible, but you probably think, well, this is it, right? Yes, baby. These are the files. We're going to give up an advantage, a posture, a form of leverage. You want to do this because baby has a right to these things? Do you understand strategy, baby? I know you do, and I know you're just kind of sitting here saying, oh, reluctance. No. How do we deal with this? Where do we go with this? How do I explain strategy? How do I explain strategy? Have you ever seen this? So you think blackmail is okay? If it's our blackmail, you betcha. Absolutely. Anybody mind blackmailing our enemies? Anybody? Raise your hand. Who has a problem with that? Who has a problem with that? Anybody? If it's our enemies, if it benefits the United States or our cause, you got a problem with that? You got a problem with that? If I've got something from, let's say, the Fauci, or from the, let's say, I don't know, the Epstein files, and it helps us get Fauci, and I can use somebody, then I've been able to position blackmail and extortion, I mean, just for our purposes, you got a problem with that? You got a problem with that? Somebody says fight fair. What? No, we don't fight fair. What do you think about this? What do you think about this? I do not think we should have the truth, Lionel, but I think Lionel is making it fair. I do think we should have the truth. What truth do you want if it violates, if it destroys our position? Let me ask you a question. Do you believe if you come across information that shows a very, very serious gap, a very serious flaw in the a Trump plan, or something really damaging about President Trump, do you want to release that? Anybody? Do you say, well, it's the truth? Anybody? Anybody? Answer that question. You have this information. You're in charge of you're in charge of DNI or CIA or whatever it is. Do you want to? Anybody? You want to release it? Anybody? Now, I like what somebody says. Yep. And I'm trying to think, okay, what question that I've asked is yep. Do you want to do that? I don't. I want to win. Frederick says, why not? Frederick's not exactly a deep thinker on this one. This is the way you're going to play. You're going to play international, I guess, 4D. I love you. You love the word 4D chess. You would do this? You would do this? If he's done something illegal. What do you mean illegal? Oh, none of you are on my team. Sorry. You go over there. Bye-bye. Go over there. Just maybe you can go and we'll go to Sunday school and this is right and wrong. And is it illegal? Who's illegal? What is illegal? What do you think intelligence is? It's stealing stuff. It's compromising. What is war? It's killing people. Don't you love this absolute simplistic, innocent, well, it's the truth. Oh, by gum, we're not going to break the laws. Oh my God. You mean to tell me if you have something that could open us up or Trump or destroy a direction or maybe keep something quiet to be used as leverage against your enemy, you really wouldn't do this? This is childish. This is like, I don't want you on my team. No. I want to win. You worry about truth? Go ahead with your truth. I don't give a damn about the truth. Whose truth? My truth? Yours? His? This apodictic, black and white, hyper moralistic, it's the truth. Really? You sure about that? Any truth? Any truth. Okay. No. No. Most of it, yeah. Most of it. If we're doing something right now, if we have surveillance, illegal surveillance, that's listening to and watching Xi Jinping, and it is absolutely illegal, would you want that to be known? Yes or no? Would you? Would you? You probably would. You probably will. Oh, this is wrong. Well, this is the truth. I want to know. Really? You don't, first of all, you don't want us to listen to infiltrate, to violate every law on the books, to listen to our enemy? And if I have to explain China to you, it's not that they're an enemy in the bad sense. They're our opposition. You wouldn't do this? No, because I want to know the truth. I'm baby. And as a baby, I don't understand nuance and grays, and I just want black and white, and that's it. And okay, all right, okay. You wanna let everything out about Martin Luther King? You want to? You want to? You want to? See, in my administration, it's the truth. Yeah. What's it to you? What's the truth to you? I'll release the truth. You sure about this? Okay. All right. What if I have, for example, hey, listen, Nancy Pelosi, I just found something that could put you and your husband in prison for a long time. But I'll tell you what, we'll forego that so long as you work with me and help me destroy the political left. What would you do? Put Nancy Pelosi in prison or use that to destroy the political left? If those were your choices, what would you do? Put Paul and Nancy Pelosi in prison, ruin that one, or say, oh, no. We're going to go after the superstructure of radical left politics. What would you do? What would you do? What would you do? Somebody says both. You can't do both. Steve, you're a child in a good way. You're innocent, and I appreciate that. It doesn't work like that. First of all, rule number one, you can't hate anybody. You hate people. You take it personally. You think there's good and bad and evil. Yeah, there is. I don't care. I don't worry about that. I'll flip anybody. Let me give you an example. Would any of you, if you had the opportunity of working with German rocket scientists versus having them go to the Russians, Werner von Braun, would you have done Operation Paperclip? Yes or no? Answer that question. Operation Paperclip. Would you say, okay, we'll do it? Yeah, they're awful people. They're terrible people, but we want their information. Yes or no? Paperclip. Yes or no? Watch baby. He'll say no because it's wrong. Yes or no? Paperclip. Yes or no? Anybody? Claudia says yes. Okay. I don't know what this is. Aliens are demons. No, they're not demons. But as always, they're going to keep referring to them as secular extraterrestrials. What are you talking about? What alien? Demons? No, that's that Tucker Carlson. That's that Tucker. You know, one night I was dreaming. I had a demon. He attacked me and he had a claw marks on my. What is the matter? This is nonsense. Would you do this? Would you do this? Oh my God! I don't. Satan wants to trick us all. Oh, see, Steve, you're out of my. Steve, thank you very much. Leave your ID card at the door. In my world, we don't talk about Satan and it's just not about Satan. It's not about religion. It's not about God. It's about practical, just chess warfare. Nothing special. You're getting too. No. This is because, look at this. Lionel, is this because he's Jewish? As he mocks Christian? I don't know what this means. Again, see, this is too confusing. Will Melania be on the cover of Vogue? I hope not. I hope not. And if she is on the cover of Vogue, ever, she has to agree to be on it wearing bunker gear along with the victims. Or she can't. Vogue. You got to put up kind of a stake in the heart of Vogue. This is, I cannot believe, and I say this, not everybody here, but this simplistic, mamby-pamby, and God, and right and wrong, and Satan, and demons, and you're not working with me, not in the government. They will say, who is this nut? I don't know. That may be good for church. Go to church. This is politics. This is war, the art of war. This is about strategy. This is about victory. This is about understanding sometimes that victory sometimes is not as clear as you think. This is about understanding nuance and perspective and not apodictic, Manichaean, left and right, up and down, good guy, bad guy. Can't think like that. Can't think like that. And the whole thing, I hope the president, my biggest problem with the president, he's not vicious enough. Because my viciousness is not Christ-like. Christ would be very upset with what I have in store. Very upset. And I would say, I beg to differ, sir, but thank you very much. I understand this in the perfect world. Sorry. Sorry. This is so, I don't have good guys, bad guys. I just have, who are the teams? Today we're playing this one. When you have the Bills and the Chiefs, are they the good guys and the bad guys? No. This team is playing this one. Okay, which team are we on? We're on that one? Okay, we're going to win. That's it. Bills aren't bad. I want the Bills to win because I want the Chiefs to win because I want everything involving Taylor Swift to dry up and go away because I think she's a humanoid. I don't think she's real. But that's me. But I digress. I think she's the Antichrist. There. That's more your style. Now, let's watch this. This is the president speaking to, I think, one of the jadruls from L.A.
And I'm exercising my emergency powers. You have to exercise them also.
I did exercise them.
Because I look.
Look at Karen Bass. Look at this. She's got that stupid, shit-eating grin smile on her face. And she is absolutely, she has got to be crushed. Not because she's a bad person, not because she's the demon, not because she's Satan. No. She's the enemy. That's it. I don't care about that. She and her ilk, when I get done with you, being a radical leftist is the last thing anybody's going to want to do.
I mean, you have a very powerful emergency power, and you can do everything within 24 hours.
Yes. And if individuals want to clear out their property, they can.
Now, this is where she is such a liar. Liar. Did you hear me? Liar. She's a liar. Of course she's incompetent, but she's a liar. She's doing, and the president's got to listen to her. She says, no, you can't. Yes, you can. Well, why don't you allow people to clean out the brush? Well, we're just worried about the brush. Well, what? She said, yes, you can. No, she can't. She says, no, we just want to make sure that we take care of this first. And President Trump says, no, that could take 10 days, a month, 30. No, we can. Now she's back. Just watch this.
You have emergency powers just like I do, and I'm exercising my emergency powers. You have to exercise them also.
I did.
I did. Listen to this. No, she didn't.
Exercise them.
Because I looked. I mean, you have a very powerful emergency.
She signed an emergency declaration. I think we need more than that.
Emergency power, and you can do everything within 24 hours.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Oh, so we can do it within 20? You say yes, right? Yes.
And if individuals want to clear out their property, they can.
But that's not what she said before. She said, no, because I'm worried about mudslides and this and that. So I can do this, but I don't need, listen to this.
Well, yes, but you know that you will be able to go back soon.
See, you will be, wait a minute. First she says you can clear out the debris, and then you will be able to go back soon. She's lying. She doesn't even remember. First of all, she's not very bright. And that's, with all due respect, this is really not for a lot of people because the rules change. It's like they shift and the reality changes. And it's very difficult for some people to keep track of this. But the first thing you've got to do is be able to pick out a liar. And it's also somebody who's not very bright. And a dumb liar is even easier to detect.
Mr. President.
We think within a week.
Within a week. Listen to this.
That's a long time, a week. I'll be
Yep.
honest. To me, everyone's standing in front of their house. They want to go to work, and they're not allowed to do it.
See, why would you need? She just said you can clean the debris. Then she said within a week. You see what she's doing? She's changing. And you need somebody, Mr. President, to say, excuse me, you just said, this is cross-examination. Isn't it a fact, Mayor Bass, that you just said they can go back to clear their debris? And isn't it also a fact that you just changed your mind and said they have to wait a week? So the question is, Mayor, were you lying then or are you lying now?
The most important
week
thing
is
is
a
for
long
people to
time.
be safe.
They're worried about safety. They didn't care about water. They didn't care about having competent fire department. But now safety is her middle name.
They're safe. They're safe. You know what? They're not safe. They're not safe now. They're going to be much safer. A week is actually a long time, the way
Yes.
I look at it. I watched hundreds of people standing in front of their lots, and they're not allowed to go in. It's all burned. It's gone. It's done. Nothing's going to happen to it. It's not going to burn anymore. There's nothing to burn. There's almost nothing to burn. And they want to go in. The people are all over the place. They're standing, and they say, why aren't you going in? We're trying to get a permit. And the permit's going to take them, everybody said 18 months. You said 18 months. You said 18 months.
Look at this. He remember this is so good. He loves this. He loves this. Okay? Now listen, if I can get this thing done, let's go back to Baby, our friend Baby. By the way, thank you, Baby, for weighing in. But if I've got some dirt on her and I can show her my dirt to speed things up, anybody got a problem with that? No.
Last night.
And that was last night. On that.
We can't even see our homes right now. We are blocked from entering our streets.
Right.
We can't even.
Yeah.
This is our first time we saw our house. Was yesterday.
Mr. President.
This is the first time anybody around the country has even known about this, thanks to this man. Thanks to this president. This is the most incredible. Joe Biden would have been nowhere. Buttigieg would have been nowhere. Kamala would have been nowhere. He's there. This is yesterday was 4 days after the inauguration. 4 days. Forget the first 100 days. He did more in 4 days than that son of a bitch did in 4 years.
We're going to be together next week, and during the interim, many
Now
of
watch
us
this.
are involved in, and Tom McClintock, who you know has been an expert on
That
this for
ISAC?
years,
That's right.
we are going to be putting conditions on the money that do two things.
Good.
Require that it be done timely and affordable, and then secondly,
A master.
that we protect those who will come
Darryl
afterwards.
Issa, right.
As we speak, there are 6,000 acres burning in my district on the
Look at this. Look at this jadrul. Look at Bash. She has no clue. She is thinking to herself right now, I don't know what these people are saying. I don't know what these people are saying. I have absolutely no idea. I am so bloody incompetent in this.
Mexican border. There will be more fires until we include in any disaster relief items which will prevent it or at least mitigate it from happening again. So
Like
you're going
water.
to see us proposing both of those.
Like water.
Yes.
Little
we're
things
gonna
like
do
water.
that for them.
You know, the party of common sense. See, we're the party of common sense. You're not, in all fairness.
This guy,
We like
Brad.
water to put out fires. It's really quite efficient.
Oh, he
All right.
busted
Thank-
Brad's balls. Oh my God. Let me show you something too. Are you ready for this? Is Baby? There's Liz. Hey, Liz Solak. Lizzie, where have you been? I was going to send out a welfare check on you. Lady, Liz Solak. I'm sorry, I didn't know. I'm trying to. We're wondering, where are you? Oh my God, you're okay. You should have one of those things like an Facebook does. Liz Solak reported safe. Well, welcome back, honey. I don't know where you've been, but people were saying, where's Liz Solak? Lizzie, of course, she is our den mother. She's our prefect of discipline. She's the spirit, the heart, the soul, the backbone. She's the animus, the soul, the spirit. She's a life sprite. She's the wind underneath our wings. In any event, my friends, I want to show you something. And I want to show you, especially baby. Baby, I hope you're still with us, baby. Is baby still with us? Thank you, baby. I appreciate that. Is baby all right? Make sure baby's not upset. Okay. There we go. The returners, by the way, he's still trying to figure out why I think all the demons are okay. All right. Yeah, okay. I think that's a good demon reference. But that doesn't mean you're wrong. Sure, he's crazy, but what if he's right? Anyway, watch this. Now, what is this? Now, what do you notice? Now, let me ask you something. This is the President of the United States and the First Lady, and they are, excuse me, shaking the hands of firefighters. What do you notice about the firefighters? Anybody? Anybody? Uh-oh, Smarf says... manly men? Anything else? Anything else? Now you can talk about, I don't know, I don't mean to go into, racial demographics. Are they white? That wasn't necessarily, but to be honest with you, that's what I'm saying. I don't think that's the point of this. But where is the Sapphic Brigade? Where is it? Anybody? Those Christines driving the Subarus? Anybody see them? Nope. Look at these guys. Can you imagine these guys tearing into a wall? Can you imagine them coming up, bounding up the stairs, picking you up, taking you out? Look at this. He's talking to each person. There's Melania. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? And if I were the president, and you notice anything? Yeah. You like those guys? Firemen, firefighters, This is rough stuff. Firemen going into fire with the fan. Instead, we've got people like this. I got to share this one moment with you. I hear this woman's. This is Fannie. Remember Fannie Willis? Fannie Willis is if she's not indicted, I don't know. But I got to play this. She's now asking for money. She's worth like over $8 million. Where she got this from, I have no idea. But she's asking for money for her security detail. And her voice, when I hear her voice, my soul dies.
Obviously, you can donate. I want to say that again. So obviously you can donate because it does finance lawyers. It finances my security whenever I do anything that is not necessarily DA related, but more my elected. I pay security to be with me because I never want them to say I'm using county officials to do public service. So my bills in my campaign are more. But the other thing that you can do is I would love some place where if there was a think tank when we have legal issues, because we have all types of legal issues coming out.
You're the DA. We have legal issues. You're the district attorney.
If I'm not financed properly, I'm going to sue this board of commissioners, period. Well, I may need lawyers to do that.
I'm going to sue them. She is groveling.
Because if not, I'm adding to that jail population, right? It's just common sense.
Really?
How many lawyers I have, that's how many cases we can indict. That's how quickly we get to dismissals, setting appropriate bonds. And, you have people that are not invested in it. We ought to be ashamed of ourselves. In Fulton County, a Democratic county, we have a Republican chair and a Republican vice chair. I don't know what in the world is going on.
Oh-wee. Doesn't that sound, what's the word? Like an idiot. The word is, she sounds like an idiot. An idiot. She sounds like an idiot. I want to bring something up to your attention, something very, very critical, something which I think should be mentioned now. Listen to this. New reports reveal that the average person has $8,674 in credit card debt. Plus, the total average consumer debt is a shocking $104,215 between mortgages, auto loans, student loans, credit cards, and unsecured loans. Unfortunately, without outside assistance, many will continue digging themselves deeper and deeper into the hole of debt. I've advised and counseled friends and clients for years who want to take back control of individual debt about this secret weapon that has helped so many consolidate everything owed into one affordable monthly payment. They even helped negotiate a settlement agreement that will allow you to pay less than the total balance. Listen, they settled over $275 million in debt, and they've helped people become debt-free in an average of 28 months. I've had such an incredible experience referring clients and friends that I wanted to partner with them here and introduce their services to you, my loyal Lionel Nation family. If you want a helping hand to get out of debt, I absolutely, positively, and strenuously recommend booking a free consultation now by going to nodebtwithlionel.com. Look at the address. Once again, that's nodebtwithlionel.com. Use the link I've provided under the title. Listen to me. You can take control and learn how to get out of debt now. Here's one for you as well, my dear friend. This is this feller called the Pope. Now, a little bit. I am a retired Catholic. I don't know if I was ever really Catholic. I went to Catholic school, went to Catholic kindergarten, went to Catholic grade school, went to Catholic high school. But I've really never been a true believer, okay? But I've been through the sacraments and all that stuff. And the Catholic Church always to me was kind of benign, you know. Oh, they were against abortion. Okay. I think they were against capital punishment or at some point. Okay. You know, they're poor. Okay. You know, that's their thing. All right. I thought they would talk about house rules and things like that. But all of a sudden we get this new guy, Frank Bergoglio, the Jesuit. First one ever. First non-European, third world, kind of this guy's a South American. He's a different kind of dude, non-European, non-Italian, non-Roman. We had, I thought after, we had Wojtyła, who was John Paul II. We had Ratzenberger, who was, I thought maybe people are saying, I think we need to get back to European. Anyway, don't know. So for some particular reason, this Pope has said that he doesn't like the way we are doing our domestic plan in terms of people leaving or being removed or what have you. Tom Homan, who, by the way, is just such a wonderful, a delightful beast, was on and asked about the Pope and whether we're doing this removal with ERO, what is it? Eviction, whatever it is, removal and whatever it is. Anyway, this is what Tom Homan had to say.
And they were lying, and they went against the oath that they gave. I want to ask one final question. The Pope this week said that it's a disgrace what we're now doing with this new government, deporting all of these people. We've got, obviously there's going to be a lot of media searching for the sad stories here, trying to turn public opinion against this operation. What's your message to the American people as you guys do this work?
Well, let me give a message to the Pope. I'm a lifelong Catholic. I was born Catholic. I've been through Catholic doctrine. Look, he only concentrates on fixing the Catholic Church, first of all. He's got big problems there. And in the Vatican, they have a wall around the Vatican. If you illegally enter the Vatican, the crime is serious. You'll be charged with a serious crime, be jailed.
Yeah.
So he can protect the Vatican where he lives. He can build a wall where he lives. Where American people are not allowed that? No. Securing the border saved lives. He needs to understand that. When we secure the border, when less people come, less women get raped by the cartel, less children die in the river, less Americans die from fentanyl overdoses. He ought to stick to it. He ought to stick to the Catholic Church and fix that. That's a mess.
That's exactly right. And we did the details on the wall that's around the Vatican, and it's even nicer than Trump's wall. For as much as Trump likes his wall, the wall around the Vatican is really, really impressive. They were lying.
Okay, not exactly. It's Newsmax. What are you going to do? Newsmax is like the USA Today. You know, the paper they give you at your hotel or whatever. It's okay. But Holman makes a good point. Now, first, I don't want to get into anti-Catholic, whatever you want. You know what? Look. Let me see if I can explain this. If we all of a sudden decided that we were going to go through and take people who have either come to this country illegally or remove people just because they're, let's say, Guatemalan. We don't like Guatemalans. And they've been here. And they've assimilated. And they're legal. And we say, you know what? Nah, we changed our mind. That would be illegal. That would be immoral. That would be a disgrace. To go in and take people who've done nothing, who are already here, because the rule is, would you please listen to me? Let me give you a ride in New York in my Yugo. It's a stretch. And we will go and I will say, legal, 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 legal. You will not believe. I will take you to parts of Flushing, Queens. You'll think you're in Beijing. They're legal. I'll take you to Brighton Beach, Little Odessa, Russians, Ukrainians, legal. I'll take you to Astoria. They're great friends in Astoria, the Greeks, legal. Little Italy, legal. And then parts of New Jersey, there's like Chilean, Peruvian, Indian, legal. Legal. Either legal, they're legal either on some form of, I mean, I'm sure there can be a few here and there, but they're legal. We love this. We love their food. We love it. We love their culture. This is what America is. Do I have to remind people of that? And what Il Papa doesn't understand, Il Papa either is the Pope or the potato, depends upon where you're from. But what Frank doesn't understand is that these people are breaking into our country, and these are the worst people possible. Now, I had some friends of mine just come back from Rome, and they said it sucked. Sorry, because it just was not what they had thought. They had ideas about the Trevi Fountain, and they're thinking of, Sophia Loren and the paparazzi from a Dolce Vita and all this. That ain't the way that is. Well, that's their problem. So we're not going to listen to this anymore. But this is the insanity of this. So what I want everybody to back up and say is ask yourself the following question. Let me remind you of this. This is our pledge here in the nation, in the conspiratorium. 1, we are Americans and we abide by the Constitution. Not Charlie Kirk, not CPAC, not APAC, not the GOP, the GNC, the vitamin store, the RNC, none of that. We're not left, we're not right. We're not conservative, we're not liberal, we're not any of that stuff. We are Americans. This is it. I know it sounds kind of corny. And you might say, is he holding up the Constitution? Yes, I want to remind you, this is our Bible. If being an American is a religion, this is our Bible. That's it. That's it. Next point. I don't know if this is the second or third point. I love President Trump. Yay! Here's my totemic reference. Yay! Isn't this great? This is my president. Yay! Now, that is because so far he has said exactly what I want him to say. He has plans that I endorse. But I don't love the man because I just love him. Or I think he's great. I'm not a MAGA. No, that explains him and he explains me. And what he's doing makes sense to me. I am a realist. I am not anything that I want my country to win. Now, my government, oh, that's another story. The government is a big problem. My government is a big, big, big problem. Now, again, I don't have any name. You call me a conspiracist or whatever. I really don't care. It doesn't matter to me at all. But I will tell you this. I want this president to win. I want him to win 100%. And I want this country to win. And the way we're going to win, believe it or not, is to do some things which might kind of hurt some feelings, but they absolutely work. And that's it. And I want to get to the truth most of the time. I want to find out the truth on 9/11. Oh, do I ever. That's going to be real embarrassing to a lot of people. Real embarrassing. I open the doors on that one. Unless we can, I don't know what kind of a strategic benefit we can maintain by now. But anyway, I want to know about that. I want to know about geoengineering. I want to know about directed energy weapons, which the president alluded to. We all know this. Why did Joe Biden talk about blue roofs? What is going on here? Do you think this is nonsense? I don't think so. I absolutely positively see no benefit in withholding information as to flying saucers and UAPs. However, something tells me the reason for that is if we are able to figure out some kind of anti-gravitic propulsion theory, that probably some defense contractor will benefit from that. And I'm not into defense contractors. If it helps the defense of our country, maybe, whatever. But most things, I admit, do come out. But understand something. When you want things to come out, if you want the truth to come out, the truth hurts. And what you're going to find out about Martin Luther King, as wonderful as he was in fighting for civil rights and as brave as he was, which he was not necessarily an upstanding member of society, according to some frames of reference. Ralph Abernathy, Jesse Jackson knows. By the way, is Jesse Jackson even okay? Don't know. Same thing with Bobby Kennedy. Bobby Kennedy and the Kennedys themselves are the biggest frauds who ever lived. These are the biggest bunch of low rent, absolute, like they say, a three-peckered goat. They have the morality of an alley cat. They have, from Jackie on down, they're nothing special. Okay? But when it comes to, we've talked about JFK, we've talked about that whole thing. There's nothing in any kind of file. But if you want to go ahead, if you want to say that there was an alliance between organized crime and intel services, be my guest. Prove it, even better. Don't just come up with there are people, these JFK scholars are still pointing to stuff that doesn't matter. Oh, paying the landlady and the Mauser, and don't forget Dulles and Mac Wallace. And they just throw things at you only to show you that they know a lot about the facts. That notwithstanding. So that's where we are right now. This president is my hero. Okay? And I think you understand that. Now, my friends, I want to thank you. I want to thank two people. Therese Pollard, who, by the way, says, I'm picking up what you are throwing down makes sense, indeed. And Raul, who said, will Melania be on the cover again? Screw Anna Wintour and Vogue magazine. Let them rot. They're irrelevant. How dare them? How dare they? All right, dear friends, have a glorious and a wonderful and a beautiful day. Thank you so much for being who you are. Thank you for being in my world. Thank you. Even Baby. Is Baby there too? Baby, thank you. We need you, baby. We need you. I need you. Leslie says, does U.S. Constitution apply to illegals? Yes. In some respects, yes. For example, Eighth Amendment, due process. You can't torture people. You can't sentence them to yeah. But what's interesting too is the 14th Amendment. As far as they're asking whether an illegal, merely because they are born on this soil, are, for all practical purposes, American citizens, even though they came here illegally? And I submit to you, no. And the Supreme Court will get to that one day very, very soon. All right, dear friends, thank you. Thank you. Make sure you are subscribed to Lionel Nation. Make sure that whatever you do right now, you stop and you double check to see that you are subscribed to Lionel Nation. Make sure that you do exactly what I'm telling you and that you are subscribed to Lionel Nation. I can't make it any clearer than that. The number of people that I'm finding out are not members, not subscribers, 87% who watch what we do and don't subscribe. We need your metrics. Because it puts us into the HOV lane of acceptance. Because when people come in, they'll say, you know what? I saw that show. I saw that guy with that Trump hat. I thought, I don't want to hear this asshole. But you know what? He makes a lot of sense. That's only possible if they get to hear us. Because I speak for you. We make a lot of sense. We're not crazy people. We really, we're here. We're here for the country. We're not Trump acolytes. He's the guy who's leading us. So we support him. But we are the United States of America, not the United States of Trump. Okay? Okay. All right, dear friends. Have a great and glorious night. See you later today. And until then, remember, as we always say, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Da-da.